the preacher, who might as well have been God, he had the black robe and everything, pulled me aside and told me I was going to hell. Well, me and Danny Price used to fight over here in this park all the time. So, early memories is one time I remember my uncle coming down this street here, smashing into a tree that used to be right over here, drunk, getting another DWI. All right, welcome in everybody. Kenny Peterson, this is your life. So it all started here almost 63 years ago. Right after I was born, my parents moved to this neighborhood. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my life, where I grew up at, where I moved to, things I did, trouble I got into, all the way up to where I'm at today. So I hope I don't bore you. The main object here is to kind of record my life for my kids, grandkids, friends, family, and whoever else might be interested. So if you're interested, come along for the journey. It's been a long one, almost 63 years. So obviously my memories didn't start here whenever I was born, but I remember back whenever I was about 5 years old, right here on the corner of Glover and Green. Now this house has since replaced our house. We had a little really small house for this neighborhood. It's a decent neighborhood, you can still see, but whenever our house was here, I remember it had a front porch, living room, bathroom, small kitchen, dining room, bedroom on the back for all of us kids, and then my parents' bedroom. My sister slept on the front porch that I can remember. Anyways, a bunch of kids, and our grandma moved in and started living with us here too. So early memories is one time I remember my uncle coming down this street here, smashing into a tree that used to be right over here, drunk, getting another DWI. So that's one of the uncles that I swore I would never be like. However, guess who became an alcoholic later on? It's in the genes, people. Alright, so we're going to move up to my school where I went to church at, and memories of a 5-year-old boy. Okay, let's go. So let me catch this while I'm on my way to school and church. That 2-story house right there is where my best friend lived, Roger Coyne. Now wait a minute, Roger was the older brother. Man, can't even think of my best friend's name. How about that? So anyways, walked to school down from this way, down that way. I remember as an early age kid, you know, like 7, 8 years old, wanting to make money. So the way we made money was picking up pop bottles and taking them to the gas station right up the corner here at the stop sign. Trade them in, get penny candy, and soda pops. I remember Halloweening down through here, going to all the neighbors' houses as a kid. I remember mowing lawns down through here. By 8 years old, I'm mowing lawns. Used to rent a lawnmower from a place down on the corner there. It's like, I don't know, $3, $4 to rent it. Then you could cut grass for $3 or $4 back then, so I'd have to cut 4 or 5 lawns. What I'd do is I'd go around the neighborhood, get everything scheduled, get my work orders in, and then I would go rent a lawnmower because I knew I could afford it and go to work. 8 years old. All right, let's go to church. Anyways, sure hope this is recording right. So here's the church I went to whenever I was 5 years old. I remember going to church here. I seen a clamshell with the statue of Jesus, and I knew my grandmother would love that. She talked about Jesus all the time, so I remember stealing that from this church right here. Well, following Sunday I came here, and the preacher, who might as well have been God, he had the black robe and everything, pulled me aside and told me I was going to hell. Well, little did I know I was going to spend the next 31 years doing exactly that. We'll get to that part later on though. I'm still 5 years old. I told my mom about it. She said I didn't have to go back to that church anymore. So that was the end of my church days for a few years. This is about half of the school that I went to. The reason I say half is because out here it used to be about 4 more classrooms, 2-story on both sides of the hallway. So 4, 8, 12, 16, plus probably a basement. I can't remember. It seems like there was a basement. But this is where I went to school from kindergarten up through 5th grade. I have memories as far back as 4 years old, because I started school when I was 4 years old, and I turned 5 in November. So back then, December 1st was the cutoff for starting school and being 5 years old. Anyways, got a lot of memories there. Good times, a couple of bad times. We're gonna move on down the road. All right, this is Victor Park. This is the park we hung out as kids. A lot of time spent hanging out here in the summer times. We used to be able to run free as kids, you know. I mean, from the time you had breakfast, you got out of the house, and maybe you came back for lunch, and then you come back for supper. That was about it. I don't remember the Coins kid that I was good friends with, but I had another good friend that lived over here, and his name was Victor Harrington. I do remember him. We were good friends in school. I had another really good friend in grade school, so 3 good friends in grade school, and the rest fair weather friends, whatever. Me and Danny Price used to fight over here in this park all the time, at least once a month. That kid was tough, man. I could never beat him up. He'd get me down on the ground, and I'd say I give until he got up, and then I'd try and hit him again. Just couldn't beat him. One day I had to concede that he was just tougher than me, and I was never going to beat him up. Moving on to the next house. All right, so something I want to mention is when I was 5 years old, Dad bought us kids a 50cc Harley Davidson motorcycle. And over there on Glover, we used to ride it around the house, and sometimes go to our relatives out in the country, and we'd ride it around out there as well. So 5 years old, I'm starting out on motorcycles. Over here at this house, this is our second house we moved to when I was probably about 9 years old. I know it was right after my younger brother was born, so he was born in '69, so yeah, I'm gonna say 9 years old. We moved over here. We lived here in this house for 1 year while I finished grade school, which I'm real grateful for. So I was able to go to the same grade school from kindergarten all the way through 6th grade. Now, these neighborhoods were great for us kids, riding our bicycles, walking, friends everywhere. You just walk by, you grab your friends. I remember this house right here was some friends of mine. Dawn Miller went to school with me. She was in my class. Her family lived here. It was Dawn and Candy, 2 girls, and then their parents. And I remember their father was deaf mute, so they always sign language, you know, and I wanted to learn how to sign and just to be able to say hi or whatever, you know. So I learned how to sign language. I could say hi and whatever else, you know. Just, I couldn't carry on a conversation, but I could speak what, you know, I know how to spell, so I could spell out whatever words. It just took me forever. So this is this part of the neighborhood for 1 year. I remember all of us kids were still living at home. We had the 2nd floor up there. Let's see, Mom and Dad's bedroom, then me and Mike. Connie was over here in this window here, and then Alan and John was upstairs. So anyways, we had a basement there. I remember for Christmas in 1969, Dad and Alan went in on a pool table, so we had a pool table in the basement, and that's where us kids started learning how to play pool. 9 years old. All right. I know I'm not going to be able to cover everything. You guys don't have 60-some years to be watching this stuff anyways, so let's get on down the road.